Hi, this is Steve McGroy from McGroy Organics today, and I'm going to show you how to set up a worm bin using the ecosystem bags. Now, I have 3 bags here. This is what it's going to look like when you get it. So just untie it. And dump it right in. To your worm bin. Now, for right now, I'm just going to put this on the floor just to get it out of the way. This already has a good amount to start with. See, there's some worms here. Now, you're not getting a full pound of worms when you get one bag. You're getting what's called an ecosystem, which is an already established worm bin. See, there's worms here. Now, this already has this is a worm bin from my stash at here, from my own worm bins. So this has been going on for a few months, maybe over a year. So this is a great start here. So what you want to do is I like doing this out on the deck because I like using the hose. I can do it much easier. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some shredded newspaper, some shredded printer paper. I have junk mail, whatever you don't want around, old bills that you already paid, that kind of stuff. So whatever you don't want, then throwing it out in the trash so people can get your information. You can actually feed it to the worms and nobody will know anything about you, which is really cool. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wet this down. What I'm using is a 5-gallon bucket with hose in it that I've used for the garden. So I've used these for pots. And just squeeze it. Get all the excess water out. And what you can do is that if it's too watery, throw some more in there. Here's the bag that I was just using. So keep on adding some more to it and mix it up. Whoops. Yes, that's why I like using it outside, because I don't have to really worry about cleaning up the house. If it gets a little too dry, add a little more water. Now you want this as wet as a sponge. See? As a ringed out sponge. That looks pretty good. That's a little too wet. So what we're going to do, we're going to add just a little more dry paper to it. you don't want it too dry, and you don't want it real wet. So this is looking pretty good. Now we'll set that to the side. We'll add a little bit to the top here, just a little bit. Make the worms happy. Now, what I have here in the old Walmart bag is some apple scraps that I've had sitting in the freezer for a few months. So these will be very good. Now, I just did a little layer, and we're gonna dump the rest here. That looks good. Now what I have here is some cardboard, a cardboard box. And the smaller you make this, the better it's going to be. So this is just all hand whipped. I do have a paper shredder that can shred this, but I wanted to show you that it really doesn't matter what you use and how big it is. So now the reason why I'm not gonna add any water to this is because we have water on the bottom there, and I'm gonna put the cover on top of this, which has already drilled holes. I've already pre-drilled holes on the sides, but not on the bottom. Some people like doing it on the bottom for drainage. As long as you make sure that it is not sopping wet, you'll be fine. So just add some cardboard. They love cardboard. The glue of the cardboard, they love to eat. Absolutely love. It's like crack to them. It's like catnip to them. They just keep on going for it. So I have some egg cartons here that I'm going to rip up too. You can put any paper products you want in there. Now, the reason why I'm putting all this dry on top is to help deter them from climbing up. That's what they say. So it will be fine to have all this dry on top. You can just wet it down later, and add more food to it, and add some more dry stuff to the top, and that food will actually make the bedding, which is what I'm ripping up, wetter. So all the moisture that's in the produce scraps will help regulate the dry bedding. But what I'm thinking about doing is just spraying the hose just lightly on the top, just to get a little head start. That looks looking good. Now I'm gonna add the rest of the paper on top. You're probably saying, wow, that's really a lot of paper. And they're very little food. Well, if you add too much food and not enough paper, the worms will die. The more paper you have, the more bedding you have, the better your worm bed's going to be. So I'm just going to spray it just a little more. And I'm going to throw the top on. See, I have the air hose, they can breathe. And that's it. That's all you need to start up a worm bin with your ecosystem. Okay? I will show you later on in a couple months how it's looking. Now, what I'm going to do within those few weeks to a couple months is that I'm going to make sure the bedding is moist if it needs a little more, or if it's too wet, I'm going to add more dry bedding to it. I'm going to add a little food once all the apple scraps are fully eaten, and I'll show you what's going on in a few months, okay? So I'll see you later.